Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Ready Tech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing the Infinix S5 Pro and giving you a quick hands-on review. This phone is priced at just 12,000 rupees, comes with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. But as you can see from the preview, this phone has a pop-up selfie camera. That means no bezels and you get a very immersive experience with this phone. And the price is just mind-boggling, I guess. So without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box. On the front, we have a quick preview of how the phone looks along with the pop-up selfie camera. And guys, at this price for a phone with completely no bezels and a pop-up camera is really amazing. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. At the center, we have all the branding, that's Infinix S5 Pro. And at the bottom, it says about the pop-up camera, 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage. And at the bottom, it even says DTS audio. Even DTS audio is a pretty new thing for Infinix phones, so audio output should improve. On the left side and right side, we have the phone's name itself once again. On the back, we have some of the highlighting features, which we'll talk about in a minute, along with the pricing. On the box, it is priced at 12,000 rupees, but the final price will be mentioned in the description below. Now, without any further delays, let's just get on with the unboxing. By the way, this phone is available in two colors, frost green and violet. And we have the violet color. Now that the box is open, on the top we have the phone itself. Let me just put that aside. Next we have a micro USB charging cable, followed by a USB charger, that's a 10 watts power adapter. Next we have a SIM card ejector and some documentation. Following that is a soft silicone case. It looks decent, I wish it was better. Anyway, finally we have a screen guard. I really appreciate Infinix for giving us a free screen guard, but if it was pre-applied, that would have been even better. Anyway, coming back to the phone, it has a sticker on the top with some of the highlighting features once again, like the 16 megapixel pop-up camera, bigger 6.5-inch display and so on. We'll come back to that later. Now let me just remove that. On the back, we have another sticker with some warning information and SIM card tray details. Let me just remove that again. And finally, we have a barcode sticker. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the back. And this is how it looks on the front. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a slightly curved reflective back panel. It's probably fiberglass. And at the top, we have the intact camera module, which looks pretty similar to the Vivo V15 Pro, with a triple camera setup with dual LED flash. Following that is the fingerprint scanner and Infinix branding. At the bottom, it says S, designed by Infinix. This is an S-series phone which specializes for better selfies, so in terms of cameras, selfies on this phone should be much better than other phones. Anyway, on the front, it has a pretty massive display protected by a 2.5D curved glass. By the way, there is no notch because of that pop-up camera mechanism, and the chin is kinda big. Considering the price of the phone, it's definitely negligible. On the right side, it has the power and volume buttons. They are sufficiently elevated and have a nice tactile feel to them. On the left side, it has a SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. At the top, it is almost completely plain with just a small cutout for the pop-up camera. Finally, at the bottom, we have the speaker followed by micro USB charging port, primary microphone and the 3.5mm audio jack. So guys, that was the physical overview. Now for some quick initial impressions. Phone does look really premium. It definitely looks more premium than any other 10,000 rupees phone. And the back definitely looks a lot like the Vivo V15 Pro. Besides that, phone doesn't feel all that heavy or that thick. It has a bit of thickness to it and it has a bit of weight to it, but considering the overall package, it's definitely alright. Now let me try out the case. This is just a soft silicone case that can give you some extra grip and prevent some scratches, that's it. It won't give you any extra drop protection. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. On the back, it provides sufficient raised lip for the camera module, so even when you place your phone directly on its back, camera module is very well protected. On the front, there isn't much of a raised lip, so I will recommend you not to place your phone on its face. As for the buttons, they are still nice and clickable. Besides that, it has all the required cutouts, including a cutout for the pop-up camera, and at the bottom, you get all the cutouts. So that's all about the case. Now these are the complete specifications. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera, a 2 megapixel secondary camera for depth sensing, and a dedicated low light sensor. For selfies, it is a 16 megapixel pop-up camera with f2.0 aperture And this pop-up mechanism has been tested 150,000 times. It also has features like drop protection, and Infinix also included dust and splash protection. Now on the front, it has a massive 6.53-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution with 19.5:9 aspect ratio. It has 91% screen to body ratio and 480 nits of brightness. Under the hood, it sports a Helio P35 processor with PowerVR GE8320 GPU with 4GB of DDR4 RAM and 64GB of storage. Right out of the box, it will be running XOS 6.0 Dolphin based on Android 10. Finally, it will be powered by a massive 4000 mAh battery. So guys, those were the specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. Now I've configured the phone and this is how the UI looks like. It is not stock Android, it has a skin over the stock Android, but it looks and feels pretty similar to stock Android, and even in terms of responsiveness, it is pretty responsive. Now let's check out the storage information. Out of that 4GB of RAM, we have about 1.97GB of RAM free right out of the box, and out of that 64GB of storage, we have about 53GB of space for our user apps and user data. Now here's the about page. This phone is running a skinned version of Android called XOS version 6.0 based on Android 10. As of now, it is a November 5th, 2019 security patch, which is kinda old, but Infinix also provides updates pretty quickly, so you really don't have to worry about that. Now let's check out the camera interface. So this is the camera interface for the rear camera, and by default it opens up in the AI camera mode. There's a dedicated AI mode and there's no way to disable the AI mode, so that's it. This is the default one. At the top we have all the toggles. The first one is for settings, next we have a toggle for flash, next we have auto HDR, and following that is a dedicated 48MP mode. Even though this phone has a 48MP camera, it uses pixel binning to give you 12MP pictures. For some reason, if you want to take a bigger picture, you can use this 48MP mode. If you have better lighting conditions, you'll get better pictures in 48MP mode. Now on the left side, we have the regular video recording. We can record video in 1080p resolution. That's the maximum resolution. Next, we have a new feature called short video, where you can record a smaller video. On the right side, we have a dedicated beauty mode, and following that is bokeh mode. That's portrait mode for the rear camera. Following that is AR stickers, and I'll show you a preview later for the selfies. Next, we have panorama. Now this is the interface for the front camera. Once again, we have AI camera mode for front camera, and initial impressions, front camera looks really good. Like the clarity is really visible and probably the best in this price segment. Now on the left side, we have the same modes, video mode and short video mode. And on the right side, we have beauty mode. Following that is portrait mode, that's portrait selfies. Following that is AR stickers. Now here's a quick preview of AR stickers. I must say these AR stickers look pretty similar to the Vivo phones. Next we have wide selfie, which is a panorama mode for the selfies. So you just take a picture and twist your phone left and right to get a wide angle selfie. So that's panorama mode, and you also get a dedicated button over here for Google Lens. Let's say you want to search for anything, you can just click this button and point your camera and you can search for that using Google Lens. So guys, that's the camera interface. Now these are some sample shots. Now let's check the speaker loudness. This phone has just a single mono speaker at the bottom. It's not super loud, but loud enough for regular media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up, and here we go. Fingerprint scanner is pretty fast. It kinda misses sometimes, like probably once in 10 tries, but most of the time it works and it is pretty reliable. Now let's test the face unlock feature. I have set it up such that I have to swipe up the lock screen to use Face Unlock. Now this phone has a pop-up selfie camera, and even though you can use it like 150,000 times, it's not advisable to use it. So in case if you want to use Face Unlock feature, you can try this setup where you have to swipe up the lock screen to use Face Unlock feature. The Face Unlock feature itself works pretty well. In good lighting conditions, it works really well, but it takes like a second for the camera to pop up, and that might cause a delay. Now let's test the Face Unlock in low lighting conditions. Even in low lighting conditions, it is working pretty well, but as usual, it is slightly slower. Now let's test it in complete darkness. And even in complete darkness, it's trying to work. It has increased the screen brightness, and finally it worked. So that's pretty good. So guys, that was the Face Unlock feature. Now for a quick preview of the overall user interface, this is the home launcher. You also get an app drawer. These are the applications that come pre-installed. There's quite a bit of bloatware, but you can uninstall any applications that you don't use. Now if you go to settings, in the display settings we have a dedicated dark mode, and you can enable it like this. And this is how the dark mode looks on this phone. It looks pretty cool. Now before I conclude, these are the benchmark scores. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do you think a bezel-less experience with a pop-up selfie camera is worth the money? Let us know by commenting below this video, and if you have any questions about this phone, or if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.